Hi Doug, I am independent film director Grant Piccola, and I've got 10 minutes to get through this as quickly as possible. You're gonna see some cuts throughout this video, and that is because I'd rather put together a video for you and get it to you than try to schedule a call or go through everything by email. First things first, thank you so much for just being open to the project. You know, I try my best to collaborate with the people who inspire me, and of course, I always wanted to, like, there's a handful of artists out there that I would love to collaborate with, and you're definitely one of them, so thank you so much. It's awesome. I really am flattered that you're open to this and yada yada. I'll stop talking. Okay, so here's my little pitch. Doug, what if you could go back in time? What if you could relive one night of the past, and how would your hindsight, everything you know now, how would it affect the way you approach people who may have been your closest friends at that time or your family? And how much of what you remember the past being is actually what it is or what it was? And how would those differences be translated in film, and what if you were forced to repeat your past footsteps in order to get back to the present, no matter what the costs? So that was the genesis of this film idea. A little background on the story: I was in the midst of putting together what would be sort of historical, an entire feature-length film shot in just one day. But as my wife and I planned to renovate our house, it just dawned on me, holy shit, this entire house, this whole bottom floor is going to go through a radical change, like big change. And I'm planning to film a movie right now, and I'd always love to do a time travel story. What if I capitalized on this? Like, it's free production value. What if instead of shooting a movie just in one day, I shot half a movie, like all of the middle, act 2, with a whole bunch of actors, and then brought them back like half a year later or a year later, as long as all schedules could align, and we shot the first third and the last third of the film, acts 1 and 3, in like present day when the house looks totally changed. And that's exactly what we did, and it was crazy. So the idea of shooting a movie just in 2 days alone is insane. The most I've ever shot in like a normal shooting day is like 3 or 4 pages of a script. And we were like, day one, we've got 61 pages to do. Get ready for it. This is insane. Not to mention, a massive blizzard came. It was like the biggest snowstorm of this past year. 15 inches of snow as actors were trying to arrive. It was absolutely chaotic. It was the craziest shit I've ever been a part of, but we busted it out. And then we brought everyone back 7 months later, this past September. Way better shooting conditions. We learned so much. We actually improved the script throughout those 6 months to make it better, to tie things in, to make it stronger. Actors were better. Camera people were more used to the shooting style. And we busted out 50 pages in a day like it was like a regular shooting day. It was still chaotic and insane. And I'm going to put together a documentary for everything that went down. But that is how this project came together, and that's what we're working with, and we're definitely going to be sending it to festivals, Sundance, South by, like as many as we can, because we feel like this has a crazy hook, and the story is very unique and just like dripping with dramatic irony. So the story itself, it's a cross between Back to the Future, The Family Man, and like It's a Wonderful Life. Here we go. After traveling back in time, a divorced workaholic must repeat his past footsteps in order to return to an unaltered present, but struggles when it means reproposing to his ex-wife. So we learn in the beginning, oh, he's actually leaving his wife, everything's bad, but he's been working his whole life on this time machine. He's like neglecting his family. It's all about chasing this dream. Like the big theme of this film is don't sacrifice your life for a dream. And throughout the movie, we see scenes in which, you realize chasing your dream has led to some of the best things you could ever ask for, and it's amazing. And in other scenes we realize, it's detrimental in other ways. And so the movie ping-pongs this theme back and forth. So our hero is given a chance to go back in time and prove his machine works. And when he gets there, he has absolutely no idea what day it is or why his girlfriend, who's now his ex-wife, is acting so strange, and why all his friends show up at the door knocking. And it's not until the midpoint of the film that he realizes, holy shit, this was the night that I proposed, when he finds the ring. And then he's got to work the rest of the movie to like patch things and fix things and propose. And the only way to get home is to face all this shit that he's neglected over the years, and face his family and face his friends, who he no longer associates with. So it's definitely like, it's less sci-fi, like all about the gadgets, and it's much more about like the realness of being in that moment for just a night, and how would you take it, and could you make it through? And maybe it's not as easy as you think, especially if you've been kind of narcissistic or chasing your own dreams and not thinking of others. So I won't go on too much longer about that, but our budget was $4,000 thanks to Kickstarter. Everyone involved volunteered their time. Like I said, Tori and Mason, our lead actors, stellar. Everyone else brought their A game. Like, I've never seen anyone pull off 61 pages the way Mason did in a day, let alone 50 on day 2. Like, it's insane. But everyone's volunteered. Our money went towards budget, travel, equipment, things like that, just to make it possible. So at this point, you're probably wondering, where do you come in? All right, in the first, literally the opening 5 seconds of the film, I want your song to start. I've edited it that way, I wrote it that way. I want this movie to kick off fun and energetic, and the sort of like niche that you've carved out is right on the money, because your lyrics are easy to understand, they're fun, you've got a sense of humor, and all of those things are a great representation of how I kind of wrote and directed this story. It's fun, it's sort of Spielbergian in moments, but it does sort of come together for a heartwarming close in the end. So that song starts 5 seconds in, and it plays for about 50 seconds. So it's going to be sort of a mini challenge to write a song that has a verse, like an opening verse, that gets sort of to the themes of the film, gets to kind of explaining this character and who he is, or how, not necessarily explains who he is, but what he believes in. And I'll get to that in a second. And maybe a verse or a half verse, and get to the chorus all within sort of the first 50 seconds, and then the song fades and we kind of start the rest of the movie. And I was actually thinking of maybe bringing that song back for the end credits, and maybe if your verse 2 and 3 had things that talked a little bit more about other aspects, so maybe instead of I'm going to chase this dream, maybe verse 1 is all about chasing this dream and conquering and blah blah blah. Verse 2 and 3, which don't come in until the end of the film, could talk about like, now I've got it, or I've achieved it, or I've had it the whole time, or something. I don't mean to be corny. I'm just trying to think of content, and I'll get to a little bit more now. So the songs that most inspired me for what I was hearing when I was writing it and directing it, and even now editing it, I'll send you the opening clip. I actually took your song from Super Size Me and put it in as a temp file just for you, so you can see sort of like this is the up-tempo pace, because it's like we shoot out of the cannon at the start of the movie, and it's fun. And I feel like Super Size Me, The Monkey, and Backwards are all these songs that kind of have this nice, fun, up-tempo. I like the guitar. I like everything, your attitude in them, the way you you kind of talk about who you are or what you believe in as the lyrics, and you make jokes as you go. I think that's so perfect. It's like a really nice disarming way of saying like, these are important themes, or this is what this guy believes in, but like, let's have some fun while we do it. So it's not just like hitting them on the nose like this. It's sort of like, let's ease ourselves into this picture, but we know what's coming, which is what a good like introduction song does. And I have to say, Super Size Me is a fantastic song. You nailed it. Like, you absolutely, for what that song needs to do and what you did, perfect. And I'm not telling you to be like, oh, just copy and paste that for this, but that song is like a great representation of what I'm like hoping could come from a collaboration like this. So as for the lyrical content, if you'd like, I could send you the script, or I can just kind of jot down some notes for you. I can send you my document if you'd like, but these are some things that came to me. And don't judge me, because they may sound corny now, but these are strong phrases or kind of like themes that I thought would work. So again, it's about a workaholic who's like, he has one vision, and that's to chase his dream and one day make a change in the world and do all these things. And of course, it's build his time machine and go back in time. So these will kind of tie into that. So some phrases are lapping you in the past, no time to waste, won't quit till I reach past. One day I'll have all the time in the world, traveling down the past road. I'm making time. The title of the film, by the way, is Making Time. One day I'll be making time, soon I'll be making time, chasing the dream, time traveling, gonna change the world, work all the hours, don't need more time because I'm making it, running out of time, gonna lap you in the past, never giving up on this dream, achieving this dream, won't stop till I reach the past, which is kind of an interesting thought, chasing this dream, chasing time. So our hero, you know, his goal is to he records time on his time machine, records data, kind of like a DVR, like, hey, I just recorded the past 5 years, want to go back and live it. And so the ironic thing is he spent all of his life trying to capture time so he can keep it and revisit it and use it for good things. And of course, in the end, he learns that while he was doing all this, he was missing all these big events. He was neglecting his sister who needed his help. And he didn't spend enough time with his best friend. And the big kicker, of course, is throughout this film in Act 2 in the past, he learns the ex-wife that he's left was the best thing that ever happened to him. So all these things happen. And finally, in the end, he realizes, even though he was trying to do all this time travel stuff, what he had in front of him, the present time, was so much more valuable. So last things, I'm gonna make this quick, I promise. I would absolutely love to collaborate. I don't know what you may charge, but again, everyone volunteered their time, and I can't promise you like royalties or anything like that. To be realistic, this film could go absolutely nowhere, and that's the only way to approach it. Everyone just kind of knows, unless you have A-list attached or a pre-signed deal, even sending it to all these festivals doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. This is just get the best artists we can, collaborate, and let's have fun, and let's show off what we can do. And that's, you know, I never really expected this film to be this good, and for me to be confident in it enough to approach you for it. It may have started sort of as a silly idea, like let's bust this out in one day, but all the people who have come together, and now our composer in Germany who's re-signed, he's literally like Hans Zimmer. It's insane. All these people are just like flocking to it. So if somehow it makes it big, I don't know what the legalities are that you would want, the copyrights. Like, you would definitely keep all your rights to your music. You could sell it later. You could do whatever you want with the song. This is just a chance for you to, you know, show up in a film that will be playing, hopefully, in some festivals, and just, you know, just an artist-to-artist collaboration, because I'm a filmmaker and you're a music maker, and it's like, man, I'd be nuts to not try to give you an opportunity while we're riding this thing to the end. So also, you are my first and only choice right now. There is no audition. It is completely yours to take, and I know that you would do great. You do such fantastic work. If you'd like for me to send you the script, I can. I'm also going to include at the end of this video, the opening scene, so you can see how the song Super Size Me is kind of slapped in, and get a feel of like, okay, this is a guy who's like really on it. He works so fast. He doesn't spare 1 minute of the day, but he's chasing this dream to like get to the past and all this stuff. Maybe it'll help craft some ideas and get the mind working like over the holiday break or something. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and giving me a chance. Sorry about all the cuts, but I'm really pressed, and I just had to get this out ASAP before the big turkey break. So have a good week, and I look forward to hearing back from you.
FAT, that is me, but I didn't used to be. I was hot, I was hungry, I was loose, I was free. Then I waited in the line for some burgers and some fries. Super size, that'd be nice. Take a bite and close your eyes. Round two, what do? I can barely walk around. Jenny Craig, Richard Simmons, but I still love to pound. Hamburgers, Coca-Cola, getting gas from too much soda. Double, chunky. Hope this meal is never over. The world is round, and so Big boys, big girls with real big thighs. Supersize the American way. Throw it down all day, every day. Supersize the American way. Getting fat, getting broke, either way you're gonna pay. Supersize me.
Come on.
Restarting system components.